Welcome to Running Trails, my journey to try and race the UTMB CCC race in 2025. This is my race recap of the Val D'Aran by UTMB 20k race. I wasn't really racing because of a recent injury, but more about that in the end of the video. I'm sure you really want to understand how the race was, how the route was, and all that. My main point was actually to finish and get some UTMB Stones. As this was the European major, you could actually get double the points. So from this short race, I was able to get 2 stones. And of course, you need the stones to qualify for the UTMB CCC. But let's have a look at the race route. I would say that the 2/3 of the beginning is more like up and down. It kind of gets you into the mood. And then the real challenge is in the last third. In total, the race is 32 kilometers and about 2,200 meters of elevation. So, fair bit of climbing there. The race took place in Vielha, Spain, in the Pyrenees. The race start was 8 a.m., which I don't really mind because they do not have to have the nerves for the whole day. So you can just have your breakfast and get to the start place. The atmosphere at the village was already pretty amazing.
Welcome to the UTMB family, the UTMB World Series, the European major, Val D'Aran by UTMB. Vamos desde ya, atento, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ¡arriba! Have a great day, everybody. Get to the garden. What an experience. See you all at the finish line.
As with many mass starts, it gets pretty busy in the beginning. So with the narrow trails in the beginning meant that we're all just going in line. Walking, stopping. But then we were about to start the first climb, which is about 2 kilometers, getting 410 meters of elevation gain. It is pretty steep, and with all the rains, it was also pretty muddy at some points. I just took it easy because this is just the beginning of the race. Now we ended the first service station. There's 3 at the whole route, and on this one I just had my bottles ready, added some liquid, basically water, and just continued. Didn't really want to stay and spend any time on the service stations. And again, this quite relentless, sometimes not so steep, sometimes steep, gradual uphill continued. After some bit flatter sections, it was the second climb, 1.4 kilometers, 250 meters of elevation gain. Again, quite steep, but this one actually was pretty simple, easy terrain, not wet, not technical, just enjoying actually the scenery that you started to see at the top. This part of the route was really a gradual downhill. So you're just trying to get to the second service station, after which it continues for a bit and then starts the last climb. As usual, my strategy for the second service station was just to fill the bottles. I didn't waste time there. There was a bit of a queue, but otherwise I didn't want to start looking what else could I eat. I knew that the most interesting part of the race is coming, so the last uphill. 6 kilometers, 1,100 meters of elevation. It goes over 2,000 meters in elevation as well, so the oxygen will start to get pretty thin. There's a service station in the middle of the climb, so I took that as my milestone. And as you can pretty much tell from the picture, this was steep. Because of the early morning, the temperature wasn't really an issue until now. Now it started to be like in the 30s. Fortunately, there are these cool mountain rivers that you can dip your hat on and really get a cool shower.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Finally coming to the last service station. Strategy was a little bit different, so I had one empty bottle in my backpack with the molten powder already in it. So I filled that with water to get the energy, and then another bottle with just the water, because at this point you also want something fresh and cool.
Agua. Adiós. Hop.
Necesito agua aquí. No le va a ver bien a
I think my preparation for the service station was also shown that I only spent 2 minutes and 30 seconds in total on all the 3 service stations.
Gracias. Okay.
So finally at the top, the views were amazing, but now 6.5 kilometers, 1,200 meters downhill. This was brutal. There were so steep sections that I actually had to take my poles out just to keep my balance. Just watch the runners ahead of me. They are really struggling just to get down on this hill.
Yes.
Everything is downhill here.
Yes, perfect.
I think that perfectly highlighted just the atmosphere that you had with the spectators. Everybody's cheering you on, having a bit of a laugh, and yeah, you can still cool yourself on the nice little water fountains on your way to the village. But now, about to hit the end, just the final straight. That's it, I made it to the finish line in under 6 hours. But why was this extra hard for me? So just 1 week before the race, I actually sprained my ankle and I tore one of the tendons. I went to X-ray, nothing was broken, but the whole ankle was just black and blue, all swollen, and I couldn't really, run with it at all. This is an injury I've gotten before when playing football, so I kind of knew what's going to happen with it. So I just let it rest for the week, and then actually I got a really good advice on how to tape it. So I was able to tape my ankle. I tried it a few times before the race day, and it felt okay. I could go uphill and I could go on the flats. But when you have taped your ankle and it doesn't really move forward, it's very, very difficult to run steep downhills. So the whole 2000 meters of elevation down was really a struggle for my quads. My quads was fully trashed for the next week, and that's not something that I've ever experienced before. But I also took it as something that to prepare for. So if this was ever happen to me, let's say during the CCC race, I knew what I could do to actually finish the race. So there's always something positive, to the unfortunate things that life brings you. But when you get older, you get used to it. And I just adjusted my goals. I wanted to get those 2 UTMB Stones, which I now have. And I also wanted to just enjoy the scenery. The mountains and the Pyrenees, I've never been there before. So why not take advantage of that, even though you can't really fully race 100%. I'll try to make a video about the taping method that I used, because maybe, if you face something like this and you know that you can still run, you've seen the doctors and all that stuff, the method that I used worked really well for me. I also want to document it just for future references, so if I ever hopefully don't have to use it again. Thanks for watching this race recap. My next stop is going to be the UTMB Nice 50k race. Actually, I'm going to be running that with my partner. I'm going to be practicing a little bit my race pace for a 100k race. So hopefully after the 62 kilometers, I'll be still feeling like I could continue. But let's see how it's going to be. But maybe if you also happen to be on the Nice race, come and say hi and see you in Nice.